Hi everyone, welcome to the new video. So today we will see the interview questions on Prometheus and Grafana. So we will have two types of questions like conceptual based and scenario based. So conceptual based means basically on the theory part, basically on the concepts of Prometheus and Grafana. Then will have a scenario question. So without further ado, let's go. So, what is observability and how is it different from monitoring? So, monitoring tells when something is wrong, observability tells us why it is wrong. So, observability is based on three pillars, that is, matrices, logs, and traces. So, Prometheus focus mainly on matrix based observability. So monitoring is always monitoring, always keeping an eye that if something happens wrong, then alerting. Alerting is another concept. Observability tells that why during monitoring when we saw that error, why it happened. So observability is based on the three pillar. We'll check metrics, we'll check logs, we'll check traces. What is Prometheus and why is it widely used? So that answer I've given, and I will give all this in description box, you can refer. Explain Prometheus architecture. So there is a Prometheus server, main server, which scraps and store matrices. Then exporters, which actually expose matrices like node exporter, JVM exporter. Service discovery, find targets dynamically. Alert manager manages alerts, and Grafana visualization layer. So exporters are basically they are doing the main whatever matrices that have been stored in order to make it readable. A node exporter helps in it. So what is a metric in Prometheus? The time series data point, basically the key value pair with respect to time. Okay. So like example, HTTP request total, method get only with status 200. Okay. Then what are different metric types in Prometheus? Like counter always increases, like request count, like count, gauge go up and down. Histogram measures distributions with buckets, and summary similar to histogram but client side. What is PromQL? Then this is a Prometheus query language. Example this. Then difference between rate and irate. Okay. You can see I've given. Then what is exporter? So basically exporter converts system application matrices into Prometheus form. So that is what node exporter, black box exporter, JVM exporter. Then how does Prometheus store data? Prometheus store data in local TSDB like time series database. What are labels and why are they important? Because labels provide dimension for matrices, like this is a pod for payment service and this is a namespace. So labels help in filtering the data according to the matrices, according to that those labels. Now scenario is your Prometheus server is running out of disk, what would you do? So reduce retention period, enable remote storage, clean unused matrices and increase disk size. But this increasing disk size is like the very last option. Okay, reduce label cardinality. Okay, matrices are missing from a Kubernetes pod. How do you debug? So check pod annotation, basically labels, verify service monitor, pod monitor, check target status in Prometheus, say that whether that pod is captured in the target of the Prometheus monitoring, like collecting the matrices, validate exporter endpoint, check network policies. Prometheus performance is degrading. What could be the reason? High cardinality label, too many scraped targets, long retention, expensive PromQL queries. Expensive, by expensive I mean complex. Then how do you monitor application latency using Prometheus? Use histogram or summary. Track request duration. Use histogram quantile for percentiles. How do you handle multi-cluster monitoring? So deploy Prometheus per cluster, use Thanos or Cortex for aggregation and centralize Grafana dashboards. Now we have Grafana. What is Grafana? Is open source visualization analytics tool. How does Grafana integrate with Prometheus? So Grafana uses Prometheus as a data source and executes PromQL queries to visualize matrices. There can be question that how have you configured both Prometheus and Grafana? So that also you should know. What are dashboards and panels in Grafana? Then what type of visualization does Grafana support? Time series, graph map, heat map, gauges, table, bar charts. What are Grafana variables? Okay. Then scenario basis, our Grafana dashboard is slow. How do you optimize this? Reduce query complexity and use recording rules. So how do you create alerts in Grafana? So basically, define alert conditions. Sorry, define alert condition on panels, configure threshold, and set notification channels. Multiple teams use the same Grafana. How do you manage access? Use organization, use folder, apply RBAC, and integrate with LDAP and OAuth. Okay, how do you correlate matrices with logs and traces? Use consistent label, integrate with Loki, integrate with. So this is just pointer, but you can also, make the answers according to yourself. But just using those pointers and according to your experience or what you have observed. How do you visualize error rates in Grafana? Use PromQL to calculate error percentage, plot time series graph, add threshold based alerts. Real world scenario, like this is just one. Production latency increased suddenly, and how do you troubleshoot using Prometheus and Grafana? So first we'll check latency dashboards and then identify the affected service. Then with a service we'll drill down by pod, and then we'll check the CPU memory, check error rates, validate recent deployments. Learning resource. We are done with the questions. If you want to explore more, I would suggest go to the official documentation of Prometheus and Grafana. So yeah, that's all. So that's it for today's video. I hope it's helpful. Please let me know your views in the comment section. Till then, take care. Bye.